as butter. How was that? Dave, that was amazing.
So why would you mess with perfection? 1956, they built this aircraft, and for the last decades, number of decades, a guy who's had lots of practice teaching people about how they should exit an aircraft has been using this to do his work. And could you think of any better job? Well, if you're a scaredy cat like me, probably. But I get to have a little bit of fun on Maritime machines, on a series of machines, from the aircraft to the parachute to the guy who's going to make it all happen. And this is an adventure like no other. The Atlantic School of Skydiving. I'm of two minds here. I'm thinking Maritime Machines is about machines, but you're a machine. You've been doing this for how long?
This is my 50th season. So next February will be my 50th anniversary.
How did you ever get involved with skydiving? What was that path like?
It was my first year at Dal University, and I saw a sign for a skydiving club and an information meeting, and I just said, yes, I want to do that. And that's how I started, and never wanted to quit.
So February of, well,
1975. Yeah.
It would have been a different sport back then. How has it changed?
Well, the parachute equipment has changed a lot, and the training methods have changed a lot. The aircraft hasn't changed much.
Well, in fact, this is a 1956 Cessna 182?
Yeah.
And how long has this been in your life?
I bought it in 1985 from a pilot from Moncton who brought it to our drop zone for a couple of years that I rented it from him as a second airplane. And then when he was ready to sell it, I went, I want it.
How many jumps have you amassed in your career? How many times have you stood on the exit waiting to let yourself fall to the earth?
Well, I did my 11,000th jump last year, so I have about 11,040 now.
As many as 18 a day? I read that somewhere. Can you do that many?
I've done that, yeah, sure.
So does this look like it did when it was new in 1956?
It's a four-seater aircraft, so there'd be a seat beside you and a bench seat behind for two passengers. So we take those seats out so that skydivers sit on the floor, and we have it approved for 4 skydivers. So the airplane was built for 4 people total, so we're going with 5 people. So that's a bit different, and obviously an extra seat belt. And the jump door is specialized for skydiving, as well as this step is a bigger step for skydiving purposes.
So you mentioned the path that you ended up on. If you hadn't done that, what would you be doing? What did you go to university to do?
Well, I went to university and did a biology degree, and I completed that. Really, at the time, it was an extension of high school, and with thoughts maybe of going into medicine. And just my activity in skydiving interfered with that, interfered with my studies and such. So I'm left with a Bachelor of Science degree.
So you became Dr. Drop.
Yeah.
Now, is this the way this plane came from the factory, with a door that's like this in this configuration?
No, this is a special jump door that opens up under the wing. The original door opens like a car door. So to open that in flight, you'd be pushing a lot of air and wouldn't be easy to get out.
So this one, you've got it kind of lashed up here right now, but that's just for right now.
That's for now, for convenience on the ground, and it'll close for takeoff and flight. And then when we want to get out, we just unlatch the door handle, and the air will hold it up.
So that effect, the lift will hold that up just like that. So what does it take to keep a 70-year-old aircraft in the air doing this job?
Well, there's a whole lot of maintenance involved and inspections to, make sure everything is intact and working. The engine gets overhauled. In fact, this one is a new engine, and it's good for 1,500 hours of service in flight or 12 years.
Right. And you've had this aircraft for a number of years. Why is this plane suited for this job? Why is it a good fit?
Well, it can take 4 jumpers up, and that's just a nice even number. If you're jumping with your friends, doing a 4-way is fun, or 2 tandem pairs can go up in it. And these Cessna aircraft are plentiful, built in the U.S. and lots in Canada. So it's an easy-to-get airplane.
How did you phrase that, talking about when you come out of the plane and you end up on the ground? You said you don't drop, you don't, how did you put that? You land.
We land. Well, people ask me, how long before you hit the ground? And I say, we don't hit the ground, we land on the ground.
Okay. Coming in for a 4-point landing. 2 cheeks, and maybe the heels. So what does it feel like when you're at altitude and you say to your potential passengers, okay, it's time to open the door? That must be quite an exciting moment, because it must mean you're just about ready.
We, prior to that, we get our harnesses hooked up and snugged up, and we're near the doorway. And then we put goggles on, and I snug those up, and then I just open the door and say, get out.
Yeah, people have said, why would you leave a perfectly good aircraft? And I think the only answer is because it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to having some fun, Dave. You're going to have to hold my hand or whatever it takes to get me to not be as nervous as I am right now.
There's just 1 seat in the airplane.
Okay.
You don't get it. Pilot gets that. We're gonna be sitting on the floor, and you're gonna be in behind the pilot seat.
Okay. So
Sit down.
We're sitting. We're
Swing
sitting.
your feet in.
Okay. 1 foot.
Nice.
2 foots.
And then move over behind the pilot seat.
Okay. And then seatbelt.
Do up your seatbelt.
I found one.
I'm gonna get in too.
There's the other one.
Most people are quite anxious to go.
Really? You
Yeah.
haven't had people go, nah, I'm all right. I'll ride this one out.
That happens sometimes, yeah, and sometimes it takes a little extra verbal communication and encouraging them. Mm-hmm. This is what they came for,
Right.
to step off the airplane and experience free fall. And it's quite natural to have that survival instinct fear that you're leaving an airplane, that it's a survival instinct to not want to.
Well, what's the youngest person that you've jumped with?
Well, I jumped with my son when he was 10 years old. And he'd been at the drop zone for 10 years, so he was fully aware of what he was going to be doing.
What was your oldest customer?
Late 90s.
Wow. You jumped with your dad?
When I was getting trained to do tandem jumps, that came into my mind that I would get to take my dad for a skydive. So his first jump he did when he was 70, and that seemed like he was pretty old. And then he did it again when he was 75. And he said, as we stepped off, when we stepped off the plane for his second jump, it was like we were just adding on to his first jump. Like the first experience just came right back to him.
I can banana.
Nice.
What's our altitude?
10,000 feet.
Okay.
So when the doors open, get out.
You get out.
Yeah, no, you get out. Yeah. So you get out, and this is how you get out.
Okay. One. Okay. Now you're behind me though.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's it.
But that would suggest to me that you're holding me at that point.
Well, where harnesses are hooked together.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
So, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So, for you getting here, you're gonna seem like you're outside the airplane.
Because I am.
Yeah. We're going skydiving, Sheldon,
that's
right?
how
You
it
gotta
works.
get out of the plane.
Otherwise, it's just sky flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last part is just put your hands here
Why?
so they have something to hang on to.
I don't have to grip myself. I don't have
No,
to.
you're just
cross
putting your
myself?
hands
No?
here.
Okay.
It's hard for us to get off the airplane if you're hanging on to the airplane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you now. All right. Clear as mud.
Okay? So, and then I'll step off, and you're coming.
How often are people surprised that, yes, I'm going to jump out of an aircraft with a parachute on, but there's seat belts?
Yeah. Well, seat belts are proven lifesavers if we have an off-field landing. You know, it keeps people in place, and you know, Transport Canada requires that we wear seat belts for takeoff and landing. But we don't use them for landing because we've left the airplane. As I step off the plane, you get into the free fall body position that makes us lay on the air.
Okay. And
Come on over here and I'll show you that.
okay, well, let's do that then. Laying on air. All right.
Yeah. So as I step off the plane, you do this.
And look up. Okay.
So it's hips forward and everything else back.
Okay.
So it's chest back, head back,
All right.
and legs back.
Okay.
I can't show you legs back because
No,
I'm
I'm-
standing on them right now, but they'd be back here,
right.
not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead, try that out.
okay. And
Hips
then-
forward, chest back, head back. Nice.
This is probably against all balance of probabilities a very, very, very safe sport. But I'm sure you are conscientious of how you talk about it with people who have never done this before.
Well, we don't say skydiving is perfectly safe because it's not, but neither is driving a car, and we all go out and get in a car. And so we manage the risk by managing the equipment and how a person gets trained. So for the landing, we want to land on my feet.
So what do I do with my feet?
Well, so your shoulders are going to be about here relative to me.
Yeah.
So that puts your feet lower than mine.
Yeah.
So to let me land on my feet, I need you to lift your feet up.
Okay.
So think of lifting your knees up and feet out here in front.
Okay.
So you can see them, so they're not underneath you.
Gotcha. So
Go ahead, lift one up and out a bit. Yeah.
I'm gonna fall over.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
We can push the airplane out.
Okay.
I'll take a body
Body.
or two.
Oh, for the work, not for disposal. I was going to say, I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous, but I'm sure that's natural. I can push on this front.
Yep. If you're not nervous, then
What the
I'm
heck's
gonna
wrong?
be.
Then what the heck's wrong with
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
Sheldon,
David,
hey, what are you doing here today?
I'm getting ready to have some fun with you.
All right. Well, that's good. Sign says skydiving.
Yes.
So, and you're dressed for it.
Right.
Have a harness on, nice jumpsuit. Sky's clearing off,
Not too bad.
looking good.
Light wind.
I have a parachute, so I'll come with you.
I'm grateful for that. I'm happy for the support.
Okay.
I don't know when I'm supposed to get nervous. When am I supposed to get nervous, Dave?
On the ride home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
That'll be the more dangerous part of your day driving home.
Yeah, well, statistically, 1 in 1,000 for motorcycles, but 1 in 100,000 for skydiving. How many jumps have you had?
11,000.
That's not 100,000.
No,
You should be okay.
I'm not due yet.
Uh-oh, I just heard a click.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
It's that click you don't want to hear under canopy. When I go, hey, Sheldon, just stand on my feet. Click, click.
Now lean forward.
And then, no, that would be awful. Then I'd be all alone, no one to talk to.
I'm really.
Think of how I'd feel.
I'm
Yeah.
only worried about how you feel.
Yeah, thanks.
It's not about me. It's about the machine. Dave the machine. How fast forward is the aircraft traveling at the time that you're getting up? Does the pilot slow the aircraft a bit, or?
Well, we're doing about 80 miles an hour when we're getting out of the airplane.
And how does that? You're a pilot. What's it feel like when people exit the aircraft? Does it change the way the plane feels or reacts?
You certainly notice the loss of that weight, and then it's a little quieter in the plane.
That's one way to put it.
Down, yeah.
A lot less screaming is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
And then the pilot's job is to what? Because you, Dave, have exited with your tandem jumper, and the aircraft has to return. So do they come back before your jump is finished?
Well, first they're going to close the door and throttle up to higher power setting, and then to start their descent. So in free fall, we're descending at 10,000 feet a minute,
Wow.
which is fairly quick.
Yeah.
The airplane can, you're pushing it to descend at 4,000 feet a minute, and that has to be in smooth air. So they'll descend more like 2,000 feet a minute. So
It's not a race, but we know who's going to be there first.
yeah,
Okay.
well, and then, when we activate the parachute, then we've slowed down a lot. So now we're descending at about 1,000 feet a minute. And so the airplane can catch up and could land ahead of us, but he'd have to be rushing to do that. And it's better that, especially here, we're landing on the airfield, on the runway, with our parachute, so we don't want the airplane to be landing when we're landing.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll land first, and the pilot takes his time coming down, so it's easier. He can see where we are, see us land, and see us get up and walk off, and then he'll come in and land.
So we're about halfway up now. Sheldon, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm wondering if the mic's picking up my heart rate, but it's not too bad. Well, in a while, we'll be halfway down. Have fun.
What's better in life? Getting up in the morning knowing you got a full day of jumps and the weather's perfect?
Yeah.
I can only imagine what that's like for you. As many as 18 in a day. That did keep you busy.
Yeah, that's a busy day, and it is physically tiring. And I try not to do that many jumps in a day because, I don't want to be fatigued past my ability to respond to anything that might occur.
So you can come on over here.
So you mentioned that free fall speed. Do you use terminology like terminal velocity? Because that sounds a little negative.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we use that term. Terminal velocity is the speed, the fastest that you're going in free fall. So when we leave the airplane, we'll accelerate down like anything else, and after several seconds, the resistance of our body hitting the air equals the force of friction with the air equals the force of pull of gravity. So at about 120 miles an hour, we stop. We're not accelerating anymore, so we're free falling at a steady speed.
Well, hey, Sheldon, we're all hooked up here, ready to go. And a couple of minutes we'll be getting up. Have fun. Thank you, man. All right, see you outside.
Is this a job? Do you consider it a job?
Well, it's my occupation. I don't consider it work in the jumping part, and there's more to it than that. There's the business side of things, and keeping money in the right accounts, and so that you can pay for things. This is it's an expensive endeavor to maintain the aircraft and parachutes and pay staff, and it's time consuming, trying to answer everybody's questions.
You must see all different ranges of emotions and humans who want to try this.
They're here, they come for the experience, and it's maybe for some it's an unknown experience. What is it going to be like to be free falling, and it is a sense of freedom. And you know, I've taken quadriplegic people on a skydive, and they have that sense of freedom the same as anyone else.
And what about the future of the business? You mentioned your son. Is that something he's interested in, or is?
Yes, my son is, well, he's been involved with the skydiving his whole life, and it would provide an opportunity for him to take over running it.
Does he want to?
Oh, he wants to, yeah.
But I think somebody's in his way. Dave's busy having fun yet.
Yeah, I'm still at it.
How'd you like free fall?
That was pretty intense. All I can say is it was a lot more intense than I was expecting, but no, it was pretty cool. How long were we falling? Oh, Does this ever get old, Dave?
How could this get old?
Well, when you do it that many times, you know.